So there's been a lot happening in the Magic world again, and I've been gone for a little bit because I had a family emergency thing, so had to deal with that. Everything is great now. While I was gone, a lot of stuff happened. So Foundation is coming out and Wizards of the Coast are changing their ideology a little bit. At the MagicCon they had a panel featuring Aaron Forsyth, Jackie Jones, Mark Hagan and Mark Rosewater. They were on there to talk about upcoming sets, how Wizards is pivoting a little bit, like what it's like to come into the game as a completely new player, never having played Magic before. What's the best way to teach someone how to play Magic was the thing they talked a lot about. Some of the key points they talked about was that Magic is for everyone. They talked about sets throughout the year, the fact that they have the biggest player base ever, more stores affiliated with Wizards of the Coast than ever before, and that Magic is growing incredibly fast. The MagicCon that's on right now, or it might have ended by the time this comes on, it's the biggest MagicCon to date with 15k people coming apparently, which is insane. Ken Troop, the general manager of Magic the Gathering, also welcomed Terry Metalis on stage, which is the guy working on the Netflix show. He's worked on multiple things before like Marvel and Star Trek, and he even said himself that this is actually happening this time for sure. Oh, and fun fact, Mark Rosewater has worked on Magic for 29 years this year, which is incredible. He's the head designer of Magic the Gathering. I will be doing a separate video on a lot of these things, like the Foundation set and some of the other sets coming up. I'll talk about that when we get there. But first, Foundations. The key points they had was Foundation is for learning, it's for collection, and it's for world building. Rosewater said that they were trying to make it more accessible for new people, learning from what they've tried before, like sets like Portal that only had creatures, lands, and sorceries in it, because they figured that would make it a little bit less complex. That turned out to not really help much. Even if Magic is a little bit overwhelming, they thought it's better to have a set that have everything. It can be a little overwhelming, but at least you have everything at your disposal. You can choose how deep you want to go into it. They don't really need to dumb things down for it to be accessible to players. Aaron also talked about that this set will be draftable, but it will also have a ton of new products that we've never seen before, like the starter collection product and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll get a video talking about all the new products and what's in them, kind of compare them a little. Then Rosewater said that this set will be 50% reprint and 50% new cards. Some of the cards needed a tune-up. They talked about Refute, which is a counterspell that's now also allowing you to draw, making cancel kind of obsolete, but it already was obsolete, not really played that much in competitive Magic in any way. That's a good thing. I think that they're looking into how much are these cards played, should they be tuned up, tuned down, should we make variations, which is really good. I think especially for Commander where you can only have one, it's a singleton format, so you can only have one of each card, having alternatives that might fit your deck even better. Great, if you ask me. They also showed another new card, Herald of Eternal Dawn. It's like Platinum Angel but with flash. It's kind of high CMC, but also I don't know if it needed flash, to be honest. Some of the key changes they wanted to cover was that they want Magic to be easier to understand, the cards to be a little bit cleaner and more straightforward. Then they also talked about the rotation change starting in 2027. They called it the Foundation Era. Each calendar year, there will be a rotation happening in what sets are legal in Standard. 3 years is what a set have in a rotation. Say a new set comes out and that will be in the rotation for 3 years. Before, it used to count from whenever the set came out instead of whenever the year changes, but now it's way easier. And then the biggest cheer they received through this whole thing was that they wanted to work on more communication with the player base and shop owners like retailers, because they're bringing back MSRP, which is manufacturer's suggested retail price, which I'm shocked that they were surprised that people wanted, seeing how some retailers price a collector booster box so much more or so much less than other places. It causes so much confusion. People get ripped off. It's not fun for anyone involved, really. So having Wizards set the price of a set, I think is just so good. I don't understand why they would take it up, and they even said so themselves that they thought this would help retailers and players, but it absolutely did not. So that's great. And they also said that the MSRP of the next 3 sets will be available on the Wizards of the Coast website. So you can go there and you can check it, or maybe it was the Magic website, I don't know. The link will be in the description for that, so don't worry about trying to Google and find it. I'll have it in the description. Format legality will be simplified. Universes Beyond got mentioned quite a bit there. The Universes Beyond set will be legal in every format moving forward, starting with new sets in 2025, which is interesting. I mean, you'll see when they get to what sets are coming out. They're not going to do as much straight into modern sets though, like Lord of the Rings and Modern Horizons, because they changed the format drastically. We're talking about like the One Ring and how it's in every deck, which sucks, but that's what it is. And the release release calendar for 2025, half of the sets released for moving forward will be Magic Within, like following the lore of Magic the Gathering as we're all used to, like the normal stuff. And then the other half will be Magic Beyond, Universes Beyond sets. So like other IPs that basically use Magic as advertising to get their own sets of Magic in our universe. There's a lot of mixed opinions. There's a lot of people being angry on Twitter, a lot of people being hyped on Twitter. There's also a lot of virtue signaling, people being like, even though you don't like it, there are people who like it. Yeah, but a lot of these IPs have their own card game. And I understand that a lot of people want to play with Captain America and Iron Man and stuff, but it feels very immersion breaking when you're playing a high fantasy game and all of a sudden there are superheroes among all of it. But it is what it is. I'm sure they'll make a lot of money and people are gonna buy it anyways, so what do I know? No matter what, they're gonna use the foundation set as a backbone for this, and I think that's a good strategy. I've seen a lot of cards already from the foundation set that are really good. Some of them are a little bit broken, some might actually get banned. We'll get into that, and I will do another video on a crazy combo that's been going around Twitter. In 2025, there's a lot of new sets coming. There will be a set called Ether Drift. It's a racing set after March of the Machines in the lore. It's all about vehicles, 3 worlds, all tied together through racing. The set logo is a racing flag. Every guild has their own racing team, but also a lot of tribes have their own racing team. Like there's a goblin team, there's an insect team, a zombie team, etc. All the teams are then competing for the Ether Spark in the lore. Personally, I am not looking forward to this set at all. It didn't really look like it had much for me, at least as a player. I don't like vehicles really at all. I think they are just a gimmick that kind of got wasted. The fact that you have to crew them and stuff, I don't really like that much. But I'm sure a lot of people do, and for people who like vehicles, this will be an amazing toolkit for them. So then there's Tarkir Dragonstorm, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to. It's all about dragons, clans, the cons. They described it as all Tarkir and new Tarkir kind of merged into one, as there was a time travel thing happening in the lore there. So you get the best of both worlds. They're bringing back 3 colored clans in there, some new dragons and some old dragons. Ugin is back, Shar Khan is back, although he lost his spark apparently. He's no longer a planeswalker. And there's a new showcase frame there called the Dragonfire Flame, which looks insane. And then there are what I think most people are looking forward to is the Final Fantasy set, and they had an amazing video. I will be doing a separate video on this as well, where I will go much deeper into detail about what that means, what they talked about, but they essentially talked about and jazzed up the art a lot about how they will have legendary artists from both IPs working together to depict our favorite characters from both IPs, and even some super exclusive art from the artists behind Final Fantasy making art for Magic, and I think it's going to be an insane set. I really love the art of Magic the Gathering. I collect art cards for a reason, so this is going to be a fantastic set if you care about art. It's probably also going to be very good to play, but if you want to know more about the Final Fantasy set, I will be making a video on that when we get more details, because right now they really just talked about how the art and the philosophy behind the collaboration works. So then there's Edge of Eternities, which is Wizards of the Coast trying to explore other themes than just high fantasy. They're going to space in this set. So it's not really a new plane, but they're going to space. So there's new planets, there's new solar systems, and they're going to explore the cosmos. There's going to be many new planets, solar systems, etc. Space whales. So they're trying to mix sci-fi with high fantasy, and I think we didn't really get that other than in one of the unsets and a little bit with the Universes Beyond with Warhammer, although the Warhammer was just Commander Precon, so I guess this will be a little bit more in-depth sci-fi than we've seen before. I'm looking forward to this. I know a lot of people are not, because it breaks the high fantasy lore that we're used to, and it's kind of pivoting towards something that feels like it could be Universes Beyond, a little bit how the Cowboy set felt. It did kind of feel like a cosplay set for characters we already loved, which you could argue that Bloomborough was the same thing, although Bloomborough still very much felt like high fantasy. And then we're also getting a whole set, a Universes Beyond set for Spider-Man, which will be standard legal. It feels like Hasbro is struggling to make money, and so they're using Magic the Gathering as an advertisement board to sell toys, which I am very much not looking forward to seeing Spider-Man cards and Uncle Ben cards everywhere. Doctor Who was pushing it to me as it was a lot of just normal people and not really high fantasy at all in any way. We're also getting a SpongeBob secret lair, so what do I know? I am probably not going to be investing anything into the Spider-Man set at all. I am really not looking forward to seeing people tap an Iron Man and then cast a Spider-Man and then they activate SpongeBob and then there's a My Little Pony card coming in. It feels like Fortnite, and Fortnite has dialed that back. I don't know what to say. And then there's a set that will be announced soon. I'm very stoked about how they talked about Foundations. Foundations is so promising to me. I think it's going to be a set that if you're into Magic, if you're into collecting, if you're into playing, if you're into just investing, it will be an amazing set. I think there's so much value in this. I think we will see staples in this set that will be there forever. I think we will see staples of as much power as Heuristic Study, as Mystic Remora, and other stuff like that in this set, I'm pretty sure. A lot of this has been revealed already and are available on Scryfall. I will have a link for that in the description as well. I don't know what to say though about this Universes Beyond stuff. I might make another video talking about that. I am sure a lot of people are excited, but I'm also sure a lot of people feel like me that Magic is now being Hasbro's advertisement board, and it doesn't feel great to have your hobby turn into something like this just because the owners of the company making your thing is struggling selling toys. What do you guys think about all of this? Do you think Foundation is going to be a good set? Do you think the Spider-Man set is going to be good? Or do you think we're moving in a direction where Magic might struggle keeping its original fan base? I don't know. Let me know in the comments and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!